lapis mustered his adepti to restore peace to the land. They say that before he set out, he spoke these words.
This is Talon Striker from the Nexus Workshop, bringing you the second video in the series. Today we'll be talking about the one and only consultant of the Wungsheng funeral parlor, Zhongli. He's mysterious, handsome, elegant, and surprisingly learned. Though no one knows where Zhongli is from, he's a master of courtesy and rules. From his seat at Wungsheng funeral parlor, he performs all manners of rituals. Zhongli, is there anything you would like to add?
This is an age of gods and monsters. I wish not for dominion. Yet I cannot watch the common folk suffer. I will have order! Cleanse the land and defend our safe harbor. That was the first contract in Liyue. And now, the final contract too has been set in stone.
The goals for this build are as follows. We want to have order, seeing as how we are the god of contracts after all. We also want to be able to handle a spear like a true master, even if some might think we're cheating. Being alive for so long means that we've also naturally picked up information about a lot of things. Zhongli might look human, but there's more than meets the eye with this man. Some might even say he's been reborn with his new lifestyle. As a reborn, we'll take a +2 to charisma and a +1 to intelligence. For his language, we'll take Sylvan, and then for skills, we'll pick up history and insight. From reborn, we get 2 abilities. Deathless nature lets us not worry about diseases and poisons, gives us advantage on any death saving throws. We don't have to eat, drink, or breathe anymore, and then we also don't need to sleep. Being a god does have its advantages. Knowledge from a past life lets us remember past memories from ages ago, to let us add a d6 to an ability check with a skill. We are well versed in many topics. For stats, we're going to be using standard. For strength, we'll put in 8 because we just don't really need it. Dex is a solid 12. Constitution is 14. I mean, we have lived for a very long time after all. Intelligence is a 13. We know a thing or two about a thing or two. Wisdom is a 10. Not the worst, but not the best either. And charisma is a 15 because it'll be our main stat. The background we'll be taking will be Sage. If we don't know something, which is highly unlikely, we'll be able to find somebody or some place that can help us find our information. We'll also pick up Persuasion and Religion for our skills, as well as Draconic and Celestial as languages. Moving on to personality characteristics. Personality traits for us will be, I'm used to helping out those who aren't as smart as I am, and I patiently explain anything and everything to others. I'm willing to listen to every side of an argument before I make my own judgment. Our ideals are, I am bound by contracts. Contracts are absolute and anyone who breaks them is an enemy. Bonds, I've been searching my whole life for the answer to a certain question. And then flaws are, money is never an issue, regardless of what others might think. In order for us to get our goals, we need to go Warlock for a few levels. At level 1, we get Arcane and Nature as skills. We'll become a Hexblade Warlock. Morax used to be a monster on the battlefield, so we get Hexblade's Curse and become a Hex Warrior at this level. Hexblade's Curse lets us choose a target, and we have an easier time to hit them, deal more damage to them, and we gain health if they die during the duration of this curse. Hex Warrior lets us use our Charisma instead of our Strength or Dex for weapon attacks. And we get proficiency in medium armor and martial weapons. We also get some spells. Eldritch Blast launches 1 to 4 spears made out of energy at an opponent, depending on our level. Magic Stone enhances 3 objects to do more damage when thrown or launched. Armor of Agathis forms an icy shield that shields us for some damage and can deal damage back if we get hit. And Shield lets us form a magical shield to stop an attack from hitting us. At level 2 we get Elder Shape Invocations. The first one we'll pick up will be Agonizing Blast, which adds our Charisma bonus to our Eldritch Blast damage, and Fiendish Vigor, which gives us a small temporary HP whenever we want, but this will be replaced next level. We also pick up the spell Wrathful Smite, which imbues our next weapon attack, and the next time we hit with it, we'll deal an extra bonus damage as well as make that enemy afraid of us. At level 3 we get a Pact Boon, which will be Pact of the Blade. This lets us spawn almost any weapon we want, like a spear or a sword. We'll also switch out our Fiendish Vigor evocation with Improved Pact weapon. This lets us use our Pact weapon to cast spells, make it magical, and turn our Pact weapon into a few more weapon options. We also get access to second level spells here, and we'll pick up Shatter. We choose a point and a loud shattering noise sounds out and causes damage to those close to it. Now we switch over to Sorcerer from here on out. At level 1 we become a Clockwork Sorcerer though. This lets us get access to Restore Balance, which lets us negate advantage or disadvantage that a creature has on a d20 roll a number of times per long rest, and we also get Clockwork Magic, which gives us 2 spells automatically every few levels. But now we go on to all the spells we get. Booming Blade empowers a weapon with thunder, and the next time we hit a creature and it moves, it'll take thunder damage. Mending lets us fix small objects like clothes or tools. Mold Earth allows us to manipulate a 5-foot cube of earth. Prestidigitation is a basic magic spell that creates small effects, but it's very versatile. Earth Tremor causes a mini tremor near us that deals damage to anyone close. Magic Missile launches 3 bursts of energy that automatically hit their targets. Our Clockwork Magic gives us Alarm and protection from evil and good. Alarm gets us a perimeter that notifies us when someone we don't know passes it. Protection from evil and good wards a willing creature from aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. At level 2 Sorcerer, we get Font of Magic. This gives us sorcery points that we can use to make spell slots or turn spell slots into sorcery points. We also pick up the spell Absorb Elements. We gain resistance to an element that hits us and imbue that element into our next magic attack with this spell. At level 3 Sorcerer, we get Meta Magic. We can use sorcery points to augment our spells now. We'll pick up Careful and Transmuted spells. Careful spell allows us to pick a certain number of creatures to automatically save a spell we cast. Transmuted spell lets us change the elemental damage of a spell we cast to another element. We also get access to level 2 spells now. Here we'll pick up Maximilian's Earthing Grasp. This spell creates a hand made of earth to grab and crush enemies, and that stays for as long as we concentrate at it. Clockwork Magic gives us Aid and Lesser Restoration. Aid gives 3 creatures of our choice 5 extra hit points to their maximum HP, and Lesser Restoration can end any disease or condition instantly. Level 4 Sorcerer, we get a feat. In this case, we get Skill Expert. We get to pick up an extra skill, being Investigation. We get expertise in a skill, that one being History, and a stat increase, which will be Charisma, making it an 18 now. This way, we definitely know almost anything that happened in the past, and we get to look good at the same time. Not a bad deal. We also pick up a spell, Scorching Ray, to make 3 small balls of fire that we can launch at enemies. Level 4 Sorcerer gives us Magical Guidance. This lets us spend a sorcery point in order to reroll 1d20, but we have to use the new roll. Now we can get level 3 spells, but first we have to pick up a cantrip. That being Sword Burst. This spell creates a ring of weapons that attack anyone close to us. For our level 3 spells, we'll get Fireball to rain Wrath of the Gods onto enemies. We choose a location and a giant fireball explodes there. Clockwork Magic gives us Dispel Magic and Protection from Energy. Dispel Magic lets us choose anything within range that's affected by magic and end it. Protection from Energy lets us choose a creature and give it resistance to an element of our choice. Level 6 Sorcerer gives us Bastion of Law. Bastion of Law lets us spend 1 to 5 sorcery points to ward one creature and decrease the damage they would take depending on how many points we spent. We also get to pick up Erupting Earth. This spell allows us to summon earth and stone from the ground to damage anyone in the area. We now have our elemental skill. At level 7 Sorcerer, we get access to level 4 spells. Here we pick up Ice Storm. This spell hurls hail of rock, hard ice in an area hurting enemies. Clockwork Magic also gives us spells, Summon Construct and Freedom of Movement. Summon Construct calls forth the spirit of a construct to help us in battle. Zhao always comes when we call his name. Freedom of Movement makes it so that way a creature's movement can't be reduced or restricted. Can't stop, won't stop. At level 8 Sorcerer, we get an ability score increase. Here we will increase our Charisma by 2, making it a max of 20. We'll also pick up the spell Storm Sphere. This creates a localized storm that damages anything in it for the duration, and we can make Lightning strike one target to deal lightning damage. Level 9 Sorcerer gives us access to level 5 spells, and we pick up Cone of Cold. We can blast cold air from our hands, and everyone in a giant cone takes damage. Anyone who dies from this spell turns into ice, so we have our Petrification ability. Clockwork Magic also gives us the spells Greater Restoration and Wall of Force. With Greater Restoration, we can imbue a creature with positive energy to undo a negative effect like a curse or something similar. A Wall of Force creates an invisible wall of force that springs into existence at the point of our choosing, that nothing can pass through, and it can't be damaged by anything. Level 10 Sorcerer gets us another meta magic. Here we'll pick up Quicken Spell. This lets us use action-based spells as a bonus action for sorcery points. We also get another cantrip being Mage Hand. This spell lets us make a magical hand that can carry and pick up small objects. We also pick up the spell Wall of Stone. Using it, we can make a non-magical wall of solid stone that can spring into existence at a point that we choose within range, and if we concentrate on it long enough, it'll become permanent. At level 11 Sorcerer, we get level 6 spells, and can pick up Tasha's Otherworldly Guise. This spell transforms us into our godly form for a minute, making us stronger. If we pull this out, someone really must have broken a contract. At level 12, we get Polearm Master. We become more deadly with a polearm and can use the blunt end to make an extra attack and make it so that way people who try to run from us can't. Level 13 Sorcerer gives us level 7 spells, and we pick up Delayed Blast Fireball. A beam of yellow light flashes from our pointing finger, then condenses to linger at a chosen point within range as a glowing bead for the duration. The longer we charge it, the stronger the fireball when we use it. This will make anyone think twice before angering us. Level 14 Sorcerers, we get Trance of Order. We can use this to make sure that no one has advantage on us for attacks, and we can make it so that way any roll we make is never lower than a 10. This means for a minute, we might as well be all-knowing. Level 15 Sorcerer gives us level 8 spells. We pick up the spell Earthquake. We can create a seismic disturbance at a point on the ground within range and make fissures and destroy terrain. We must have wanted to do something to change the entire mountainscape. At level 16 Sorcerers, we get an ability score increase, and we get a +2 to our con, making it a nice 16. At level 17 Sorcerer, we get Meta Magic and level 9 spells. The Meta Magic we will get will be Empowered Spell. This makes it so that way we can reroll our low damage rolls on spells to do more damage. And what we've been waiting for, we get our Elemental Burst Meteor Swarm. We summon blazing orbs of fire that plummet to the ground at 4 different points we can see within range, dealing huge amounts of damage. You know, it was about time we make another stone forest. So that's it for the build for Zhongli. The pros are that we have great area control with multiple spells that restrain or block off enemies, huge AoE damage with spells like Fireball, Ice Storm, and Meteor Swarm, and a library of knowledge thanks to expertise and class features. Cons are that we have some really bad saving throws with only one good saving throw, no mobility, so if we're caught out, we have to fight our way out, and friendly fire is a huge concern if we don't have our meta magic up. But worst comes to worst, we just showed them why we were called the God back in the day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to finish today's commission, and I'll see you all next time when we interview the great Mondstadt Gliding Champion.